my corporeal friends. You can hear me, yes? Our journey inches ever closer to its conclusion. EXTINCTION represents the final piece of a puzzle beyond the comprehension of your mortal minds. With your help, we will heal.
Welcome to Play the Game. Come with me down, deep down, into Buried with this full Mind Games Easter egg quest guide, Maxis side. Before you start, you would do well to have points deposited in your bank and a weapon in the weapons locker. Now, we commence. The first step is to build the noose. It can be found on the right of the courtroom and requires 4 parts. The wires in the gunsmith's, the battery in the church, the glass vial above the sheriff's office, and the antenna in the barn. You will know when you have built the noose as Maxis will sound. The next step is face a resonator at the orb and power it with a turbine to smash the orbs. The first can be found on the left of the church, the second at the back of the mansion, the third in the mine, and the fourth the saloon. At this point you have destroyed Richthofen's amplification system. Once you have destroyed the orbs, a lantern will roam the streets. You must bring it down with an explosion and retrieve it. Now you must fill the lantern with new energy. Use candy on the big guy and allow him to kill enemies close to the lantern bearer. A ching noise will sound when you are standing close enough to the devastation. Once the big guy has killed enough zombies, the chings will cease. At this point, a receptacle will appear on the roof of the gunsmith's. Place the lantern there and a code will appear. I will now explain with 100% accuracy how this code works. The code can be worked out in your head by imagining a table of 9 spaces. Within those spaces you place A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, and continuing until you reach Y and Z at the end. The code can be cracked by visualizing the white lines on this cryptograph. Once you have found out where the lines may lay, the red line tells you which letter to use. In this example, the white lines would make a U shape and the red line would be on the left, resulting in a D. Of course, you only need to work out the first letter to understand the sequence in the next step. Before you start the next step, please place down a time bomb found exclusively in the mystery box, which we will be returning to momentarily. The next step is to find the signs that the code spell out in the mine and hit them with the galvanucles, and they will smoke red. This can be cancelled with a second hit. Once you have galvanucled the correct signs, a wisp will spawn from the sign, and you must follow it. It requires undead life to stay alive, so depending on where the wisp vanishes is where teammates must hold zombies. If I may offer a tip, it is more effective to perform this step mid-round. However, taking time for tactical placement is potentially safer. Be warned that the charged zombies are far more dangerous than the standard undead. After a wisp has entered the noose, activate the time bomb and repeat the process. At this juncture, I would ask you to leave a like on the video, and I'll proceed momentarily. The next step is the bells. There are 3 sets of 3 bells that can now be activated. The first set is found in the courtroom. The second set can be found on the level above the candy shop. 3 players must divide themselves and enter those locations. The last player must enter the mansion and find the bulb box in the 2nd bedroom. The confusion can be eliminated when thinking of the bulb box as 3 vertical sets of bells. Have the other players press their bells to find out which vertical line belongs to them. Now simply match the bulbs to the light box lights. You have now rerouted the power to the spire. Now it is time to return to the well and make a wish. Cowboy pop-ups will appear around the map, and they must be shot with 100% accuracy by all players. The following are the best locations to shoot from: the large boulder near the fountain, the left-hand side of the mansion's garden, the opening in the 1st floor of the barn, and from the broken stairwell in the saloon. You have now completed Maxis' side of Mind Games. You now have all perks here, where you will stay forever. But it is not over yet. You have only scratched at the surface of Maxis' desires. Thank you, and goodbye.